Hey guys, so today we are taking a break away from the Woodland Garden project and we are going to focus on the vegetable garden. This is the state of the vegetable garden. I did not clean up the vegetable garden after the season, which I really should have done. I have let this get away from me like I do every year, and I always say I'm going to keep it cleaned and not let it get this bad, but of course I let it get bad. So the vegetable garden does consist of two levels because the property is on a hill. This is the first level of the vegetable garden. It consists of 3 raised beds. I have a really large raised bed in the middle, and then on the sides of that I have two 2x2s. So the plan is to replace all of the raised beds and clean out the vegetable garden. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to get to the top level today, but I would at least like to get down to the lower level. I do have quite a bit of vegetables that I need to get in the ground. So since the vegetable garden is 2 levels, we do have this cute little stairway, which is 2 pawpaw trees on each side of the stairs, which by the way are loaded with pawpaws. I have to show you guys that. But this is the cute little stairway that leads to the bottom level of the vegetable garden. It is surrounded by ferns, corbels, and hostas. This takes you down to the lower level of the vegetable garden, and I did create this little stairway to help with erosion and mud coming down this little hill. I love this project and I think it turned out great. This is the lower level of the vegetable garden. I have already replaced one of the raised beds, and the plan was to also level out the ground down here, but my husband did say in order to level out this vegetable garden, the retaining wall at the bottom would have to be a lot taller than it is. As of right now, if I were to try to level this out, then the dirt would go well above the wall, he said. So I'm not going to worry about leveling out the vegetable garden. We are going to break down all of the existing raised beds and break them down, pile up all the dirt in the middle, and then place the new raised beds around the dirt. That is how we did this raised bed here. And I believe this is a self-seeded pumpkin. I think I had 2 over here, and honestly it really did look amazing. But I guess once I cleaned up around all the weeds and stuff, whatever that's eating this maybe was able to get to it much easier, and not exactly sure what's been nibbling at it. I don't know if I'm going to pull it or see if it bounces back. Still thinking on that, but I think it is a pumpkin. Not exactly sure, but going to be removing all the cages, weeding, piling up the dirt, placing the beds around it, and maybe putting out some more mulch. That is the plan today. Hopefully we can get to this lower level. Hopefully we can complete this one today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with this raised bed right here. I probably should clean up all the junk I have in the middle of the garden first, but I'm just going to go ahead and start weeding this so we can break down the sides and throw all of the dirt in the middle of the bed. See how fast I can get this project done. I think this raised bed has the least amount of weeds in it, so that is why I'm going to start with this first. And we are putting smaller raised beds in, so there's more room to walk around the garden, because as of right now, the pathways are really small and narrow in this garden space. So that's one of the issues that will be fixed today. And this side is already breaking off of it. Spider web. So the weeding of this bed is pretty much complete. I'm now going to try to break apart the sides, which they should break pretty easily because they are already half rotten. I'm going to use a shovel. Break all of this apart, toss the dirt in the center, and place the new raised bed around it. This is how it looks right now. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this. I'm not going to bring the raised bed down just yet because I'm not exactly sure how much room to leave for this one. I think this is 2x2, and we are still going to do the 2x2s in between the larger beds. So I'm just going to leave this as is, and I'm going to go ahead and tackle this smaller one. We have 2 beds down and we have 2 more to go. I'm going to go ahead and tackle this one next. 3 beds down. We have 1 more to go. This one has 2 honeyberry plants in it, so we are going to have to remove those. I'm going to go ahead and pick these beans off of this trellis because I'm just going to replant them. I have a little container right there. One down here. So there are quite a few pods on this plant, and they will be replanted in the ground. I don't see much more, so we are going to go ahead and remove all of the trellises and cages and dig up the honeyberries. Because I know people are going to ask, this gorgeous plant right here is Japanese beefsteak. It goes by a few names. I think Purple Perilla is one of them, and Purple Shisho, I think. Not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but it is one of the most invasive plants on the property. This is everywhere. I did not plant this myself. The previous owner did. Highly invasive, one of the most invasive plants on the property, if not the most invasive plant on the property. It gets really tall and it has pink flowers on it. It's edible. Just so you know, this guy is everywhere, all down this pathway. I need to weed out this. I don't have not one area of the garden where this plant isn't at. It's also in the woodland garden space as well. Gonna make sure I pull all of this up, but yeah, it is gorgeous. This right here is Mrs. Honeyberry, and then we have Mr. Honeyberry right here. We are going to weed around all of them, and then we are going to pull up the plants, pot them up later. I'm probably going to stick them in this wheelbarrow behind me that already has dirt in it. I'll probably go ahead and tuck them in there for now until we can get all of our raised beds in. So let's go ahead and continue cleaning this bed. Just gonna grab all of these and tuck them in this container right here. So I don't want to waste any of these beans. Try to save as many as I can. Of course, there's quite a few right here as well. But let's get back to weeding. Now that the bed is clean, I'm gonna go ahead and dig out both honeyberries. I'm just gonna stick them in the cart behind me right now. More beans. Toss those over there. And this one, the bigger one, is Mr. Honeyberry. The honeyberries should be fine for right now in this wagon. I'm probably going to pot them up later and keep them in the vegetable garden. But now that they are out of this raised bed, we can go ahead and continue to break this down. Once all that is finished, I do have a couple of piles of weeds that I need to get out of here as well. Get rid of those, and then we're going to bring the raised beds down. The vegetable garden has been cleaned and dismantled, so now we are going to grab our raised beds. Beds are in place. I did have my husband come out here and help me make sure they were positioned correctly. He leveled out the ground a bit and spread out the dirt. The 2x2s are still in the process of being made, so I'm not going to get those out today. And the second level of the vegetable garden will not get cleaned today either. I will do that maybe tomorrow sometime. Not exactly sure, but hopefully next time you guys see me, we'll be ready to plant up the vegetable garden and do a little bit of sheet mulching. I did go ahead and bring down a couple of terracotta pots so we can plant up the honeyberries and get them setting in the vegetable garden somewhere. So let's go ahead and do that. These are the two pots I went ahead and grabbed. The smaller one's going to be for Mrs. Honeyberry. Larger one's going to be for Mr. Honeyberry. So let's go ahead and get these potted up. I'm just going to use a bit of the dirt that came out of the vegetable garden because that is what they were planted in originally anyway. So that'll be fine. I'm just going to fill up these pots. I will probably fertilize later and get these honeyberries situated. Mrs. Honeyberry is done. Now we're going to do Mr. Honeyberry. And Mr. Honeyberry is now also finished, so I'm going to get these situated in the garden somewhere. I think that I'm just going to situate them maybe at the corner of this raised bed right here. Might get a third pot so I can do a trio, maybe with some herbs in it or something like that. But I'm going to stand back. I think those look nice right there. So I might keep these here or move them elsewhere, but it's fine for right now since we still have a bit of work to do in the vegetable garden anyways. That's going to be it for today, guys. I thank you for joining me on this video, and I hope again to see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.